Hmm. Oh, good evening, everybody. Now, I'm just a simple man, and my name is Noah Foster, the host, creator, and founder of hashtag 205 Life Matters in collaboration with NoDQ.com. Thank you, Garen Aaron Riff. As you all know, as we enter October and the fall of falls wrestling, as well as the Wednesday Night War, which is definitely happening, there's been a lot of discussion, a lot of reports, and a lot of debate about the future of the 205 Live series. I truly don't know what's to come of it. It sounds like it might merge to NXT, which means that my good friends in the NXT team, Stephen R. Osborne and Jerry Slaughter, they probably will take over discussing that because 205 Live may no longer be a thing. But until then, I know that the 205 Live brand shall continue on TV, so I will continue reviewing it and discussing it with my friends as per usual. So tonight, I would like you all to enjoy this two-part series where we not only discuss this episode 205 Live, but kind of give you our idea on the state of 205 Live as we discuss the main roster, the NXT presentation, and what we think's to come, and more. So with that, enjoy this two-part mega episode of hashtag 205 Live Matters, and have a wonderful day. Good evening, everybody. Now, I'm just a simple man, and my name is Noah Foster, and welcome once again to another episode of 205 Live Matters, the post-Clash of Champions edition. And boy, what a week it has been. We've got so much to discuss, including the Cruiserweight Championship match from Clash of Champions, this week's episode 205 Live, and a showcase that happened during the first ever live edition of NXT, even if the half was on the network. Before we get into all that and more, allow me to introduce you, of course, to the team with me tonight. First off, he is pretty much my co-host. He's a family man. He is the holiday, Mr. Christopher Mace. You might as well call us the Simple Holiday at this point. Don't you guys? If you got a better name for us too, love to hear from you. Your opinions matter. Anyway, Chris, how are you?
Oh, doing good. Long day at work, busy day. It's time to talk about wrestling.
Yeah, that always makes me feel better. It's like as soon as I talk wrestling, my mind instantly just kind of like when Oni just, revs himself up. I'm awake and I'm ready to go. And of course, returning after such a while, the host of the Wrestling Rundown. He is one of the former champions of the Aftermatch Wrestling League, part of NoDQ NX team, proud member too. It is, of course, our good friend here, the Birdman, the Talkinator, Mr. Owen Finch. Owen, how are you? It's been a while. I know you've been extremely busy.
Yeah, extremely busy, going on trips. And then I think every time I say I'm going to do it, then I get busy doing something, so then I have to call it off. I think there was 1 week I was supposed to do it, but then, Noah, you, I think incapacitated because you just had your tooth surgery or whatever you had done that day. So you couldn't. I don't even think you filmed an episode, and if you did, I didn't know about it.
We did it on Saturday that week.
Yeah, I was so high on laughing gas, I thought I was playing Pokemon Go in my brain.
Yeah.
I'm
doing very well. And also, too, I can plug it now. I might put it in the comments of this video. I obviously, since I've been on, I reached 2,000 videos on my YouTube channel, so I was happy about that, which is spread into 2 videos because YouTube said that's too long.
It's a 360-hour video of Nyan Cat, but I digress. Anyway, congratulations, man. That is a phenomenal achievement. I'm actually approaching my 1-year anniversary of my channel. And, of course, Chris Mace, welcome to the YouTube community of creators. You posted a couple of videos so far. Great content. Folks, follow all of us. We'll bring you some fun wrestling content. We're all creators here, and we just do it for fun. Simple as that. All right. Well, it's good to know, man. And with that, why don't we just get into this week's show? And by that, I mean this week's episode 205 Live Matters. Let's start off with what happened this past Sunday, because literally, that's really what 205 Live this week started off as on Tuesday. It was emanated from Atlanta, Georgia. And we, of course, had our announced team of Vic Joseph and English and the newest commentator, former NXT superstar, Dio Madden. I forget his other name. I guess he's an avid video gamer, so mad respect to him. Anyway, we start off with a very cinematic recap of the Triple Threat Cruiserweight Championship match from this past Sunday's Clash of Champions. And while it did occur on the pre-show, I thought it got tremendously over because I did hear Pain 2 for a lot of chants. There was no video feeds or mute moments during it, and all three men shined. It showcased what a triple threat match should be, similar to what I saw live at NXT TakeOver Toronto 2. I thought it was a very good match. Before I break down into more of it, why don't I get both your inputs? Owen, I know you watch Clash of Champions. Give me your thoughts on that Cruiserweight Championship triple threat match and your moments from it. What do you think of it?
Oh, that match I thought was very good. I thought it was it was overall match of the night. It was, but that's not saying. I mean, that's not really saying much out, with the show. But this match was very good. And I really enjoyed it. I thought, all the wrestlers put that in themselves really well. Some of the highlights I noticed is I love because since Gulak's new gimmick, he always immediately just starts off a match now, drop kicking the first person he sees head off. I think that's just awesome. I like that they had Lince Dorado and Humberto Carrillo work together because they have a common enemy in Drew Gulak. But, they knew that the title was important, and since they had a history, it wasn't one of those standard triple threat matches where they did it and then, changed their minds. They actually, knew the championship was more important and they fought themselves. Lince Dorado looked impressive. I like the new look of his mask, that he has, the cat, teeth on it now. It looks really cool. I like the Hurricanrana he hit, into the table. The moonsault that Humberto Carrillo hit, while Lince Dorado was on Gulak's shoulders. I liked the way Gulak wrestled, where he wasn't one of those heels who just let the faces kind of do all the work, and he'd snuck the pieces. He actually went in there, and he actually, took care of business himself. He dominated this match for, several minutes. And I like the finish with Gulak winning, but, he won in a way where Humberto Carrillo actually looked good. And Lince Dorado made sense to eat the fall. I think everybody predicted that to happen. And I even got to say, even though he's still new and there's still work to be done, Dio Madden showed much improvement on commentary. I thought, he actually showcased himself fairly well. The commentary was fairly on point. Aiden English is still the best out of the three, and I don't think that's changing because, like we talked about before, Dio Madden has a big shoes to fill with Nigel because he's taking Nigel's place, but Dio Madden definitely has the voice for it, and he definitely showed some improvement, but, you can't give him too much flack because it's only his third show he's commentated. You know what? Second show. Main event doesn't count. So, yeah, very good Cruiserweight title match. If I was to give it a star rating, I give it 3 3/4. I think if the match had gone 5 to 8 more minutes, I think it would have been 4.
All right, fair enough. Very, very good, deep analysis. Chris, your thoughts on this match, commentary, moments, and any takeaways?
It was pretty damn good, actually. I thought it was a good hot opener to start the show off. I don't like it being on the pre-show, but I think we're fighting a dead-end battle here on this one. We're talking to a brick wall at this point. But the match was a good start to the show. I was very entertained by it. Like I said, we already had the feeling. I know we all predicted Gulak was going to retain. That's what he did. The way he did it was very interesting. Towards the end, Dorado was trying to get the best of Humberto. Humberto ended up hitting one of his signature moves, and then as he went for the pin, Gulak was able to throw him off and be able to, and then ended up. I don't remember what their move is right off the top of my head, but he was able to get the pin. What was interesting, the only thing I criticized is you could tell where there was a botch towards the end where it's pinfall because he was trying to pin him, and then the referee was saying shoulders down on the mat. You could see it clear day, shoulder down on the mat, and then he put his shoulder on the mat and went for the 3 count. So that was the only criticism I have of the match. So all in all, like I said, it was a very good hot opener.
Yeah, and I agree. By the way, as you all know, I watch everything Cruiserweight twice a week, part of this series, to give more of an analytical standpoint, not just as a fan, but also as a critic, because I agree. And the funny thing is, during the kickoff now recording on the network, they took out that moment where the wrestler the shoulders are not down, shoulders not down. So it's kind of it's all natural. But at least this ref wasn't stupid when we saw it live. He realized the shoulders weren't down, and Gulak needed to put a little more formal momentum on Lince Dorado's shoulders to get the 3 count. But yeah, I thought this was a really fun match. Like you said, Owen, throughout the gate, ding, drop kick. And Gulak special nowadays, part of his new aggressive style. Gulak, of course, being the most methodical and strategic player in this match. And then Dorado and Carrillo, they come together against a common enemy in Gulak. But they also challenge one another to see who's the better, more deserving superstar. Lince Dorado been there since day one, getting his first opportunity. Roberto Carrillo's been on fire since being part of the Cruiserweight division since his debut against Buddy Murphy. And yeah, there's a lot of fun spots here, absolutely. There was the top rope, I guess you could call it yank that Gulak did, where he just plants Carrillo. And then the only rest spot here was really like a neck crank, again, Gulak's submission specialist. But again, no cutoff, no mute break. I respect that tremendously. And then things just kicked off into high gear where we had a high body splash and then a gut buster. There was a springboard head kick by Carrillo. Carrillo loves doing follow-throughs and springboard moves as part of his style. I've noticed that lately, including the roll-through springboard arm drag. But then we get that unique spot where we find Carrillo goes over the top as Dorado's in the electric chair position on Gulak's shoulders and literally wipes him out along with Gulak, all three men outside of the ring. We get back in the ring. There's missile dropkick to Dorado's head by Carrillo. Ouch. Gulak, though, he tries to come in for the save, doesn't. Then there's a moonsault into a submission because you're not getting it with your feet because Carrillo was trying to go for his traditional moonsault to Gulak. And Gulak's like, oh, I know I'm just going to get you on my feet again. Nope. He remembered from history. He caught him, put him in submission, but then Dorado comes in, tries to fly an iron out to push for a submission, and then Gulak just launches Dorado into Carrillo. Then we get roll-up after roll-up after roll-up, each man jockeying for a roll-up on one another. I thought that was a very interesting spot because they saw they were deep in this match. They figured that someone's vulnerable. Someone has to win here at this point. We get some faint 205 live chants and then a combination kick, punch, clothesline segment with all three men taking each other out. All three men are down. Approaching the end, we get Gulak. He gets a super kick, and then we get, you said that crazy spot, the Super Rana from Dorado to Carrillo. That was ridiculous. And then we get a shooting star press, this, which of course opened the door for Carrillo. He goes for his move, Aztec press, hits it, but who comes in the end to capitalize? Gulak throws him in the post and pins Dorado. 1, 2, 3, the law retained. I thought, again, this was a very good match, but I also thought that it was a statement of how strong Gulak believes in this Cruiserweight division and its work ethic. If you all watched the WWE exclusive like I did, you saw Kathy Kelly interview him and ask him one question. You were dominant here, but was there ever a point you were worried that you were going to lose your Cruiserweight title? Gulak basically said this. Do you realize what this title represents to me? 2 decades of men from all over the world, incredible talents of all sorts of caliber. They were told, you're too small, you'll never make it. You see this? This is validation. So should I worry? Cappy, there is a state of growth going on here. And it is a constant battle. And only adaptation will make it to the end. Survival is the key. Change is the rule. And I am the law. Enough said. You want to make it in this division, you better be willing to put everything towards it. You want to be known as something when others look at you as nothing and you're in this weight class, come to 205 Live. Cruiserweights should have no limits on themselves. You're not too small to be something big. Gulak exemplifies that. Very good championship match. Epic interview. I look forward to his next Titles Clash, which we're going to figure out sooner than later, as we'll get to. But let's go ahead and get into this week's episode, because we talked about Clash Champions enough here. So again, this week's episode emanated from Atlanta, Georgia, and it was a nice little three-match show, I thought, after we got our cinematic Clash Champions recap. Again, one of my top 3 matches from the pay-per-view. It's Ari Daivari versus Lince Dorado in our opener. Did I not call this from last week, Chris, when I said they were meshing 2 stories together in that main event? And I was like, oh, Dorado's going to eat the fall here, so we're obviously going to get the epilogue to this. Boy, did we. Chris, tell me through your thoughts for this opening match. Ari Daivari versus Lince Dorado. Remember, the match opened up with Ari Daivari saying, if you would have listened to me, you would have been champion, but you didn't. You blew it.
Well, I mean, if you see, obviously, with this match, there wasn't going to be a heel turn. You didn't see Dorado turning heel and joining Daivari because obviously they had the match here. Good back and forth action. Like I said, Dorado is showing everybody why he should be considered a single star. He's doing phenomenal as a singles wrestler. This is something I was talking about for a while now, Lucha House Party going, even if they don't end up breaking up, like I said, having more singles matches, because Dorado is outshining all three of them as a singles wrestler. Between Kalisto and Grand Metalik, he's outshining all three of them. I'm sorry, that's my opinion. Dorado getting the win was the right call there with the storyline with Daivari. Now, let's see here. Now, hopefully what we don't have is a swerve here where later on he ends up joining Daivari, and Daivari is just showing something like, I was testing you to see if you're good enough to beat me or something along that lines. I don't want to see that at this point. Let's just go on and start a new chapter here. Let's start a different storyline here. This one's got to be over now since he beat Daivari. Where do they go from there?
Interesting thought, interesting stance. Oh, and any takeaways from this match, and what do you think is next for R.I. Daivari or Lince Dorado?
I thought it was a very good match. I like how even before that, though, they shot an exclusive where the Lucha House Party, made up. That was pretty damn cool. I hope they stay made up. But yeah, I thought it was very good. I thought Lince Dorado looked very strong in the match. He had some really nice dives in the match, like the, crossbody on the outside. I like the Golden Rewind. I always enjoy that. Ariya Daivari, I just think he's massively improved, with his return. He's a much better wrestler. He's very solid. Like, when he left, obviously, though, when he left. Actually, no, he didn't leave, actually. He got injured right after Go. And, pretty much, I thought the match was very good. I thought Lince Dorado winning made the most sense since, he just kind of came out of a Cruiserweight Championship match. You really can't have him lose right now. That kind of, ruined his stock. But I thought it made sense for him to win. Where they go next, I think maybe they'll have a six-man, maybe include the Sin Brothers, but it seems like the Sin Brothers are doing their own thing. But I don't think this feud's over yet. I think, they're going to maybe continue it, and maybe they'll have, Ariya Daivari find, two tag team partners that are also heels. But I can't really think of who that would be because the Sin Brothers, they already did that match. So I think there'll be a six-man and the Lucha House Party will beat them. And then maybe, I don't know, I would like to see maybe a one-on-one match with Gulak versus Dorado for the title. Something like that. Ariya Daivari, I really don't know because he's kind of feuded with all the big faces on 205, so it's really tough to know.
Well, when you got a roster of 12, that is another thing to consider. At least I think it's probably. But yeah, I thought it was a nice, fun, calculated match. It seemed rather slow at first to me, as both men were kind of jamming each other for words. And Lince Dorado, he picked it up with the body press, the extension, as you call it. There was the handstand springboard kick. We get a shooting star press counter, though, and then this is where things really turned as Ariya Daivari took control, starting with, of course, that I like to call it a Persian launch, because everything's Persian with Ariya Daivari, it seems. Just yanking freaking Lince Dorado off the top rope, cross arm pull over. We get a super kick, and we get a Uranagi, not a rock bottom, Uranagi from Ariya Daivari. Again, Ariya Daivari showing how physical he is, trying to prove a point about what he's been saying to Lince Dorado. You should have listened to me. He goes for the hammerlock lariat, and then that gets rolled into a crucifix, but then both men jogging for position for a cover. Get a nice power bomb, and in the end, shooting star press. Took a while to get set up. We were figuring out what was going to happen here on the top rope. He finally knocks Ariya Daivari off, and he hits the shooting star press. But in my opinion, I think he lost momentum on the actual impact because his feet did catch the rope on the way down. But apparently, it was enough to get the win. So again, Lince Dorado, everything seems fine with Lucha House Party now. He even said that my brothers need to do this by myself. Please respect my request, and they did. And we'll see what happens here. Lince Dorado, but you're right. This has been the strongest he's been showcased as a singles competitor because Grand Metalik's recent showcase, he lost to Rey Mysterio on Monday Night Raw. Kalisto's last singles showcase, he lost to Ariya Daivari. Lince Dorado right now has had the strongest momentum as a member of Lucha House Party up to this point. Is that going to feed into his ego? Are we going to eventually see Lucha House Party breakup? What's next for him or any of the three? Only time will tell. But yeah, I thought it was rather interesting. So moving on from there, we go into a recap of what we're going to get as our main event tonight. Oney Lorcan and Tony Nese. And we recap what happened literally, I believe, 2 weeks ago.
It was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, where Tony Nese is so frustrated that he lost to Mike Kanellis. He don't know where he stands. He doesn't know what he needs to do. But Oney Lorcan tries to console him. And he's like, hey, I've been there. And those were the words that triggered Tony Nese's imminent mad spiral destruction, I guess you can call it now, where he's like, you've been there. And he just takes him out to the point that Oney Lorcan's written off for a week. And then Oney now saying, okay, you gave me a little break, but now I'm back, and I'm coming to hurt you. And once I do that, I'm coming after Drew Gulak. And that was weird. And I'm coming after the Cruiserweight title. But that was not our main event. Our next match was a match we've been waiting for a one-on-one for a while in relation to another story on 205 Live. Jack Gallagher and the Brian Kendrick. It finally happened. So I thought. The whole statement behind this match was one word. Respect. And I'm going to remind you what respect looks like. The Brian Kendrick, of course, speaking to Jack Gallagher with Akira Tozawa in his corner, just smiling. Not the cheap smile, just, a simple smile. And this match was more honestly, I don't know what this was. Was this a statement? Was this just another sign of frustration? Because D-Brian Kendrick, again, he's been an original, but he hasn't been Cruiserweight champion since the beginning of 205 Live, when he came in as the Cruiserweight champ. Oh, and take me for your thoughts on this match and the aftermath.
Before that, fun fact, I don't even think Kendrick's had a title match since he lost the title. So the last title match he's had was at Roadblock End of the Line 2016, so that's a long time.
Correct.
I like what they did here. It's very interesting, though. But, they were having, like, a nice, solid match. But then, they tied the story in with Akira Tozawa and, Jack Gallagher, because of what happened during Tozawa and Gallagher's match. He didn't want it to happen here. Right. And then this is when Kendrick took the kendo stick out and beat the crap out of him with it. And it's definitely interesting. Akira Tozawa thought it was too much, and he finally stopped him when he put the Captain's Hook on with the kendo stick. But then Kendrick beat up Tozawa, so that was interesting. I like what they did, but I'm kind of left perplexed because there's really, even though it's a new 205, there's really nowhere you can really go with a Tozawa-Kendrick story because they kind of did everything they could do because they had that street fight 2 years ago now, a little over 2 years ago now, actually.
Correct.
So I feel like you kind of did everything you could. I kind of wish they would have had Tozawa actually turn heel with them because Tozawa I like to see a heel Tozawa. I think that would be kind of cool. Maybe he's just aggressive and they could be a tag team. And I guess 205 Live is going to just keep crushing my dreams because I really want those tag team titles, but I guess we're never getting them because they just broke up another team pretty much. But I'm going to kind of wait and see what happens because, like I said, I know we like to kind of keep it different and we don't talk about it, but the beauty about 205 Live versus the main roster, you can kind of wait and see how things happen. Main roster, can't do any of that. Once something's bad, it's bad. You can't really wait and see how it happens. So I'm going to wait and see what they do with this. I think Kendrick kind of being a heel fits him more. And he's just a really good heel. But it's really interesting. Are they doing a triple threat match, or are they going to have maybe Tozawa and Gallagher team up, and then maybe Kendrick get the tag team podium, maybe Arya Daivari? I don't really know what's happening here. But like I said, one thing I would change is I wish Tozawa had turned heel with him, because I think a heel with Tozawa would actually be kind of something new for him, and it would be something new for 205. I think it'd be pretty cool. It would make sense, because Tozawa's had, like, all of these championship matches, all these championship opportunities, but really, I should say, never really has held on to the title longer than a week, because I almost said never won the title, but I forgot he had the title for like 6 days. But
yes,
I'm gonna wait and see what happens. But I'm interested in this. I want to see where they go with this.
Yeah, and again, I mean, we got our typical spots. By the way, Jack Gallagher, his music feels heelish. He's not a heel. He should probably just go back to the other music. I don't remember what track that was. But anyway, simple match. I mean, he did his upside-down bicycle move, put the feet out front, but hey. And then he popped over his opponent. He went for the gentleman's drop kick. And D-Brian Kendrick goes out of the ring. Jack Gallagher, he goes to follow. But D-Brian Kendrick inadvertently pushes Jack into Akira Tozawa. Both men have a stare down. Jack and Akira, they realize what happened. But Jack's like, go to the back. I don't want you involved in this. And then, whack, kendo stick, ding, ding, bells goes off. And Akira's like, what are you doing? And literally, the Brian Kendrick just smiling, goes back in the ring. He beats the daylights out of Jack Gallagher with the candlestick like several times, and applies, as you said, the candlestick with the candlestick, only for Akira Tozawa to break it up. And as the Brian Kendrick's like, okay, and goes to leave. And Akira turns his back. Never turn your back on the Brian Kendrick. I could have sworn that was one of his lessons, 2017. But anyway, well, he had like 13 lessons. I can't remember everything. I barely remember what I had for breakfast yesterday. But anyway, he goes back in the ring and he strikes Akira once, but boy, did he rub his back and bent that stick. And then just walks away with a grimace on his face, it seems. But again, what was the stance of the Brian Kendrick tonight? I'm going to remind you what respect looks like. So is this just a long, calculated plan where Akira Tozawa is being a martyr because was the Brian Kendrick really being like a mentor to him? Or is this really going to become a repeat of 2017? And by the way, I saw that street fight live, so I know exactly what you're talking about. Bottom line, though, I'm curious to see where this goes from here, and it sounds like Akira and Jack, for now, they might be on the same, same system of understanding. We'll see what happens here. But again, I would be interested, too, if Akira turned heel, because, again, after that Madison Square Garden of Kushida and Akira, and that stare down and that tweet, everything about that to me sets up a heel Akira versus a game face Kushida. And I would love to see that, either on 205 Live or NXT. But again, only time will tell. Chris, any further thoughts on this match and the aftermath?
This is actually kind of intriguing to me because I don't see them rehashing the storyline with Brian Kendrick and Tozawa having a rematch against each other. They've already done that feud. But what I may see happening is, with the storyline, is maybe the gentleman's going to try to talk to Tozawa about this, trying to say, look, this is what I was trying to tell you about the Brian Kendrick, and Tozawa's confused, and then everything's going on, and Drake Maverick makes a decision. It's like, okay, you know what, we'll let you make a decision. We'll do something different. They're going to have a rematch. We're going to make you the referee, and then somewhere down the road, he could take the side of Brian Kendrick, and then he could turn heel with Brian Kendrick and screw the gentleman out of the victory. Like, the gentleman could be close to winning the match, and then he ends up screwing the gentleman, and the Brian Kendrick wins the match, and that's when he'll be turned heel with the Brian Kendrick. That's what I could see playing out. That'd be something different that we haven't seen before on 205 Live, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, only time will tell. And I would like to see this develop more non-social media, but maybe an exclusive, maybe backstage, maybe make this a bit more organic, maybe they're on the same page in the locker room, maybe D. Brian Kendrick, he's watching from afar on a TV, from a stupid angle. But I would like to see this develop more just in the ring, outside the ring versus in the ring, because on 205 Live, they really don't do promos. It's more like backstage, builds up, whether it's a beat down, whether it's an interview, whether it's an interruption to an interview, or going in Drake Maverick's office. So I'll be curious to see what happens here. Maybe Drake Maverick went into the trainer's room, found both men getting iced for their backs, because you saw the screenshots. Really, let's stick to a number on their backs. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. And, of course, I have Twitter notifications muted because I cannot risk being spoiled in wrestling. # spoiler free. That's just the way I am. Anyway, we'll see what happens. Following that quick, simple interview, Humberto Carrillo gets asked about his, basically, what's next for him. He simply says, I had this match won, but then Gulak came into play. If this match was one-on-one, I would be the Cruiserweight champion. But I know I will earn another opportunity, and it will be one-on-one, and I will become champ. Humberto Carrillo, good luck to you. We'll see what's next for you. Angel Garza. But I digress. Yeah, me too. But again, we'll get more into that a little bit. So moving on from there, we go into our main event, which was the story of the night. Oney Lorcan and Tony Nese. It was a battle of basically redemption. Oney Lorcan and Tony Nese, I must admit, I was kind of surprised with the way this match played out in the beginning, especially because I was expecting ruthless, aggressive, Oney Lorcan out the gate, bat out of fire. Was the complete opposite. Strategic, slow, back and forth paced match. I mean, in the beginning, Oney takes over, but then he goes spine first to the post, and Tony Nese takes over. But Oney, throughout the match, keeps shouting about, I'm going to put you through a wall like you did me. Even though he was pointing at the announce table, like, the announce table's not a wall. Anyway, there was, Tony Nese took over after that, and basically threw Oney Lorcan into all the barricades, and at one point, through and over, I didn't even know that was possible, the announce table, and the announce table collapses. I don't think it was well put together after that SmackDown wide end angle. Anyway, Oney Lorcan controls most of this match. Tony Nese controls most of the match. Oney Lorcan gets back into play, but then he gets a throat shot, incapacitated for a moment. Springboard moonsault fails to capitalize for Tony Nese, and then Oney's fury is unleashed. Simple as that. As he throws freaking Tony Nese while going, Tony, into all the barricades. You might as well make this a four corners match. There's a gimmick that I haven't done yet in 205 Live. And we get, of course, all the classic hits. We got the blockbuster. We got a wicked clothesline. Then Tony Nese goes for his pump handle. We get Johnny position for the half and half, countered into a double stomp as he landed on his feet. Very impressive by Tony Nese. All these escapes and these Matrix-type moves from him. Very fast, very brilliant action. And then, of course, we get a setup eventually for the running knees, only for him to run into a dropkick to the face. So the Fury, once again, like he's channeling the energy of the WWE Universe and is trying to, build his spirit, like he's trying to go Super Saiyan or something. As he points to Tony Nese and goes to fly, who comes out? Drew Gulak from underneath the ring. No wonder they don't do LED boards under that side anymore. I thought they did at one point. And he's like, hey, you remember this? This will never be yours. Which was enough of a strategy for Nese to just run in and catch him with a roll while holding the tights. Oney Lorcan shocked. Tony Nese ecstatic. Gulak's like, hey, this is doing business. And Oney Lorcan is still shocked. Again, what's next? What's going on here with this relationship? I don't know. Chris, take me through your thoughts on this match and the ending.
I expected Lorcan to come out more of fire and fury, piss and vinegar. Okay, you beat the crap out of me 2 weeks ago. Now I'm going to come back, and it was more of a strategic match, which is not his strength, is not his style.
Yeah.
He is more smash mouth to the point. If you screw me over, I'm going to get payback on you. He's more of a hellraiser. He's got those more characteristics of an Austin during the Attitude Era when he wants to beat the crap out of you and get in a match and just brawl with you everywhere. He's got that kind of style that he has. This wasn't his kind of match. This is more of they're trying to do more technical stuff at some points, and it's just like it doesn't work with Lorcan's style. He's more of a brawler. And that's where it took it down to me a little bit. Now, towards the end of the match, I was getting into it with him taking Nese and smashing him in all four corners. And that beautiful drop kick he did when Nese was trying to go for the running Nese, that was a great move.
Pinpoint
and
perfect.
In the end, like I said, it kind of made sense to do it that way. Gulak and Nese are trying to, reform their partnership again. Like I said, Gulak assisting him to help Nese get the win, Nese holding on to tights and everything. Made sense if he's going to be more of a heel. But like I said, when is the fallout going to happen? That's what I'm waiting on, because you know what? Nese wants that Cruiserweight title. What's the end game for him? Is he just playing along with Gulak in the meantime until he gets his opportunity to get that Cruiserweight championship? And then the whole time it can be revealed that he was doing this all along just so he can get an opportunity at the Cruiserweight championship again and beat Gulak. That's where I see this ending up being. The end game being that Nese is going to end up getting another championship match later down the road, and he's going to beat Gulak. That's where I see this end game playing out.
You bring up a key observation because I almost, and to go with Owen's point, D.L. Manning, yeah, he does seem on point because he does talk about this whole idea of being a wrestler and stuff like that. And he does focus on not only the action, but also the story being told. Vic Joseph, though, he was very on point here. Not so much being color commentary, but kind of driving along, okay, where is this going? Where's Tony Nese's mind at? You just won the Cruiserweight title at WrestleMania. You were the Cruiserweight champ. Just because you lost one or two matches doesn't mean you should just do a complete change of your character and values. And then Eddie English is like, yes, you did that then, but what have you done since then? So this match was more a story of Tony Nese versus Tony Nese and Oney Lorcan. I thought it was very interesting. A little bit of outside type rendering, per se. Anyway, Owen, take me through your thoughts also on this match and anything else you'd like to take away from it.
Yeah, I really liked the match too. Yeah, they just worked a really nice match. I really like how it's, building Tony Nese's heel work, but I'm really not sure, where it's going either. if it's, a ruse all along or if Tony Nese legit is a heel. I do like that Tony Nese kind of is back as a heel, but because I think he just has like that such cocky, brash attitude that he just kind of fits being a heel. Because him as a babyface, while it wasn't bad, I just think he's more of a natural heel. Like it's the Miz factor all over again, but obviously the Miz's babyface one's a completely different story than Tony Nese. So, but I really liked it. I always like seeing Oney Lorcan. I do wish he had a little bit more of a fire in this match, like Chris said. But I like how they continued kind of like that Oney Lorcan, Drew Gulak like storyline they have going on, and I really like this. Like Drew Gulak is such the top dog. He's in a feud kind of with everybody right now, which I like. I think the champion should have like, if he's that big heel like Gulak, he should have like 3 people that he's feuding with. And he's got like Humberto Carrillo because they have a history, and he wants the Cruiserweight Championship. He's got kind of Lince Dorado right now since he took the fall. We have that whole thing go along with Tony Nese. And we have, Oney Lorcan, who they still have unfinished business because of what happened at SummerSlam and then on 205 Live, and 2-3 days later or something. So, I quite like this. That's what I like about 205 Live is everything kind of evolves around Drew Gulak in a sense. They have their own individual storylines, but all eventually has like the destination, the final destination of the championship. And I really like that. I thought the match was very good, and I like the finish a lot. A lot of people could complain about it because it's the roll-up finish, but 205 Live doesn't overdo the roll-up finish, so they can get away with this. I don't think I've seen a roll-up finish on 205 Live in a long time, so they can get away with this.
It has been quite a while, and again, it drives the story. Tony Nese doing whatever it takes to win, kind of using Drew Gulak to help rebuild himself. Is this a much longer calculated plan, like you all pointed out, for Nese to put himself back in title contention? He's going to turn on Gulak? What's going to happen? Only time will tell. All right, so as usual, let's just go ahead and put in our quick grade for the show. So this was, of course, the epilogue to Clash of Champions. We followed up with both challengers upon their loss. Carrillo still staying strong in defeat, saying he will get an opportunity, he will win. Lince Dorado proving a point to Ariya Daivari. I don't need you to get wins here and be over. I will become a champ underneath my own merit. And then, of course, we still fought more on Drew Gulak and Tony Nese, to see where this partner, business relationship, whatever you want to call it, friendship, training partners, I don't know, goes to. And then Oney Lorcan's kind of like left out in the cold, but you wonder now what's next for him and when is he going to get his next Cruiserweight title opportunity, because right now the Cruiserweight title seems to revolve mostly around Oney Lorcan, Tony Nese, and Drew Gulak at this time in 205 Live until we get into our next topic. So I thought it was a pretty decent show. It was definitely not, like the A show. It wasn't like a thing that really got the crowd hot. It wasn't like a huge, great main event. It was more like a storytelling main event versus like a match that got you really going and like, wow, I want to see this again. It was more like setup versus the end or the closing of the next chapter. Kind of like a teaser, things to come, I feel like. Still, pretty decent show. I look forward to what's next. I'm kind of fickle, to say the least. And I honestly don't know what the Brian Kendrick is thinking here. That threw me off the most. So with that, I'm going to give it 2 3/4. Chris, what about you?
I'm going to give it a 3 on the main event just because this is not the best Lorcan match I've seen him have in a singles match. He has had better matches where there wasn't any stipulation involved or any specialty match. He's had better singles matches, in my opinion. But the match for itself was all right to me. It was a little better than average. I'm still giving it a 3, but I'm giving it an extra 1/4 because storytelling-wise for the rest of the show, like I said, I thought it was very well done, especially with Dorado and Daivari continuing that or concluding that, whichever one they're doing. And in the middle, leaving you in kind of trying to figure out, okay, you see the Brian Kendrick clearly being a heel in this matter, but what's Tozawa going to do? Is he going to end up siding with Brian Kendrick? Is he going to go on his own again? Is he going to side with the gentleman? I mean, it's left you with different angles and different ideas of what they can do. So that's why I'm giving it an extra quarter off the back of a great show. Because I think, to me, it was great storytelling-wise. It left you guessing. It wasn't something where you can just easily figure out, like, oh, I see that happening next week, because you don't really know. And that's where it's like you don't really know what's next for the Brian Kendrick or the gentleman or Tozawa in that situation. So
Yeah, I just feel like I said they aren't trying to redo 2017. Basically, I hope something does come out of this, and I would like to see something change in Akira the most. I feel like he needs something new for him. Oh, and what about you? What would you grade this week's episode of 205 Live?
I agree with Chris. I give it a 3, and I guess that would be a .14. But yeah, I like. I don't know what that would be. I think that's 3 1/4.
Yeah, 3 1/4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not used to. I'm not used to doing my letter grades this way. So that's why. You know.
I keep it simple, but anyway, continue.
But yeah, I quite liked it. You had 2 good matches, the opening match, and then you had Tony Nese versus Oney Lorcan. I like how it's building stories. It's kind of like the nice fallout for Clash of Champions. You're wondering who's going to challenge Gulak next until this week. Well, not this week, but till the next day you found out. And, I like how it's building the story between Gallagher, Kendrick, and Tozawa. It kind of felt like it maybe blew off / continued the Ari Daivari, Lince Dorado, Lucha House Party stuff. And it continues with Drew Gulak, Tony Nese, Oney Lorcan feud and everything going on there. And you're wondering what's going to happen next on 205 Live. So I'm giving it a 3 1/4.
Well, you guys bring some compelling points, and I guess it just felt really odd to me. Like, wait, what? You're just doing a roll-up type thing. But I guess it does kind of protect both men. It gives a stance to Tony Nese like, hey, this partnership with Gulak is going to be wins. Oni, I mean, he lost, but the way he did lose, it kind of doesn't leave him out. I am curious to Akira more than anybody out of these 3. And as far as the opening goes, that pretty much ends Arya Daivari's storyline. So maybe that's why I gave it 2 3/4. But just because I feel like one storyline ended and it does leave me questioning the other 2, all right, I'll go even 3. So even 3. So pretty average for about 3. All right. So with that, let's go ahead and go into some simple stances. Now, before we do that, I feel like it's not really a simple stance, but it needs to be discussed and reviewed. I guess you could consider it both. NXT Live. First off, congrats to Nazem Guinness, congrats to NXT. What a hell of a show. And go watch What's NXT, hosted by Jerry Slaughter and Stephen Osborne. Live, folks. It's a good show. We've had the Cruiserweight title acknowledged. Now, we already heard from, at least I've heard, in Triple H media calls, because I do follow that, yeah. I'm not a journalist, but I do follow what goes on in the business. Believe it or not, folks, I'm more than just, a guy that looks like, wow, what a great match. What's next for the product? Because I do care about what's next for the actual product in itself, including 205 Live at first. So the way that Triple H put it, he wants everything under the NXT banner, including NXT UK. Hence why I'm wearing this. Actually, there's the next thing in my closet. That's just the way I work in any video. Anyway, so he talked about 205 Live. He talked about the Cruiserweight. He talked about them getting more opportunities, going in between all 3 brands. You'll be seeing more of these guys and the Cruiserweight title more acknowledged on this brand. He felt like that 205 Live was a great idea. It was just one of those things that didn't really kick off. It was like an island that was marooned, as Chris and I briefly discussed last week. Well, I think this definitely helped, and I think it's only going to bring benefits for the future. Let's go ahead and talk about the number 1 contendership Cruiserweight title match that happened, the second hour of NXT Live that occurred on the network. It was Oney Lorcan. Now, I don't know if this is I don't know where the continuity is here. Maybe this means that Oney will be like, the 2 different worlds, because I thought it was weird, like, Oney Lorcan, you just lost this match. Why are you getting this number 1 contendership match? But then again, I'm glad he was in this match because, wow, what a return. Blah, 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 blah. Chris, take me through your thoughts on Oney Lorcan versus the returning Lio Rush for the number 1 contendership to Cruiserweight title.
Well, first off, I had to watch the replay of the rest of the beginning of this match because the network decided to crash on most people after the first hour of NXT Live ended. So hopefully next week, since they got to do that scenario again, they correct that problem so we can go straight into the action, not worry about Oh, it's glitching. Oh, it's not working because a lot of people miss at least 15, 20 minutes. I know personally I missed 30 minutes of the show, so I was very disappointed with that. I had to go back and watch the replay. This match was freaking amazing. Top to bottom, this is the kind of match Lorcan needs. Here's an example of Lorcan having a singles match that's well done. Wasn't a stipulation match, anything like that. Lio Rush, this is the Lio Rush. Will the real Lio Rush please stand up? This is not the last lean, all that crap. Not him being a stick man. This is the Lio Rush that can perform, that performed on the independent scene, that can perform in a ring in the right situation. This was one of his best matches I have seen out of him so far since being in WWE, NXT, 205 Live. This is the best match I've seen out of him so far. This was an incredible match. Lio Rush winning was surprising to me because I wasn't expecting him to win, being just coming back. Him winning was a complete surprise, and him hitting that fucking, that fucking frog splash, the way he hits it, that was amazing. That was a thing of beauty. He hit it. He got the 3 count. He is the number 1 contender. Now, here's the interesting dynamic because he is still a heel, so it's going to be heel versus heel at some point. Gulak defending that Cruiserweight title against Lio Rush, heel versus heel match. That's going to be very interesting to see how that plays out, that is for sure. If Lio Rush can have another performance like that, that could actually be a match where he upsets the Cruiserweight champion, Gulak. He could shock Gulak and actually upset him for the Cruiserweight championship. If he does another match like that, that's a possibility, and I could see that as a possibility happening.
With the way that NXT is evolving, going from just network-based to live, if this was on TV, man. Before I talk about this match and my after thoughts, Owen, let me make your thoughts on this match.
This match was awesome. One complaint, not necessarily about the match, but I really wish they wouldn't have shown the graphic before Lio Rush actually came out. Because imagine that pop that would have happened if Lio Rush had come out. We didn't even know. And, he would have gotten a tremendous pop. Because, showing the graphic, even though he still got a big pop, but I don't think it was as effective as it would have been. Because I wish that he could have just come out and maybe, like they said, only Lorcan's face in a mystery person or something like that. But still, this match was great. It was kind of like, Oney Lorcan wrestling that scrappy style, and Lio Rush wrestling the style that he should be wrestling, where he's that guy that you can't catch. He's so quick. He just continuously runs away from you. That didn't happen, though, in the beginning, though. He got his head almost taken off with that uppercut right off the bat. Oney Lorcan knew what was coming there. And I thought, Lio Rush got the crap kicked out of him throughout much of it. He got a half Boston Crab like 3 times in this match. He got his head taken off with a super kick. I loved that, that rolling stunner that he hit, kind of like a mini springboard stunner. And I can't believe Lio Rush actually won this match. I was actually stunned just because I thought, okay, 205 Live last night, Drew Gulak cost Oney Lorcan the match. It only makes sense for Tony needs to get the win, but Oney Lorcan, but they actually worked it where Lio Rush actually won. And that actually kind of makes sense in a way, too, because it says comeback match. Why not have him win? And I don't know what's happening here, because they did kind of sell it in a way, is he actually going to get the title match because his leg was so messed up after the match where you didn't even know if he was going to be 100%. But still, this match was great, and I'm really happy. Now, obviously, I'll get some flag from people, but if 205 Live does get canceled, and this is what the future would look like for 205 Live, then 205 Live getting canceled wouldn't actually be the worst thing if it gets showcased like this on NXT week after week. And then, a lot of people are saying that's coming. I'll say this: I'm not going to believe it until I actually see it announced. But even if the reports are true, I think they're saying, it's going to get canceled right away. It's going to be a slow burn. It's not going to get canceled right off the bat. But still, this was a great Cruiserweight Championship match. It was the best that 205 had been showcased in a long time. And I actually hope, even though it's not their brand, that they actually do the Cruiserweight Championship match on NXT. Not on a pay-per-view, on a kickoff show, on NXT. Because that would get some great showcase. And I'm actually excited to see Gulak and Lio Rush have a match. Now, I don't know what happens to Lio Rush, if he's just going to be in the Cruiserweight division now in itself, or once Bobby Lashley comes back, is he going to be aligned with Lashley again? I don't know. I kind of hope not, because, while I liked the pair-up and stuff, it was good for Lashley. Lio Rush just needs to focus on him, and a lot of people say his attitude problems, but I say this. He's a 23, now 24 years old. What do you expect someone that young is going to act like when you get called up to the main roster? They're going to be cocky, and they haven't really. He was just in the WWE. He hadn't been there all that long. He had to learn on the fly what to do and what not to do on the road. But still, quite a great cruiserweight match, and I was happy with it.
Whether it was backstage politics, financial troubles, or figuring out himself, I am extremely glad to see this Lio Rush back under the WWE banner as fellow NXT team distant member of the Elite No DQ team. Big G says he's followed Lio Rush, he's followed his maturity, he's followed his career since watching him from his local wrestling promotion, supporting independent wrestling, folks, where Big G's from. He's been a huge fan of his, and he thought that this was a tremendous match. In my opinion, this was the match of NXT Live. No doubt. And like you said, this was really interesting the way only Lorcan was picked to be used to determine the number one contender versus Tony Nese. Because again, only Lorcan, he lost that one match. You gotta imagine how this was negotiated and how this might play out in the next episode of 205 Live. Like I said, it's probably gonna be a slow merging. I don't see 205 Live canceled yet. It might be coming, but again, seeing is believing. And as Triple H says, he wants to put everything under the NXT banner. It's like WWE in competition with itself. Follow that, my friends. I don't think he's talking about just this. I think he's talking about some other stuff, too. And I think he's indirectly talking to another person in the company. But I digress. Despite hearing, oh, I love that. Yeah. Well, yeah, we'll see what you love about it as it progresses. We'll see what the viewership is, too. And it did hit over 1 million views, too, which is very impressive. Anyway, this match, my gosh, Lio Rush. Yeah, he nearly got his head taken off because ding, ding, hip attack, running hip attacks, and then a blockbuster. Within 15 seconds of the match, we get our first pinfall. He goes for the half and half, immediately countered, and then Lio Rush, faster than him. My gosh, this dude is fast. Not one, not two, 3 suicide dives, all hitting effectively. We get an interesting Matrix escape and a couple of kicks, but then the match turning point was when Oney Lorcan dragon screwed him, and that was the focal point of this match. Lio Rush, can his leg hold up? Lio Rush, tremendous seller. Just being in pain and agony with everything he did, whether it was counting Oney Lorcan or trying to do some antics with the ropes. You could tell he was in constant pain. There was a gut-wrench power bomb into a nice near fall. Oney Lorcan looked tremendous during this match. And then, as you said, Owen, that spot with the bottom rope springboard stunner, that was extremely impressive. And then he goes for his finisher, the extended body splash, only for it to be countered into our first half crowd or second half crowd, lost count. And then Oney Lorcan, he puts it into a modified STF, tying up Lio Rush to the point that you find he's going to pass out this close, but no, because this wasn't about like grabbing his hand. It's the out or respond. Lio Rush gets back into it and responds, and boy, does he respond in a big way. A new thing, by the way, for Oney Lorcan, that thing where he grabs you about to chop your face, he's like doing this with his right hand, but like, this is what I'm about to do to you. And the arm's like, oh, here we go. And he gripped him, and we get a right hand chop, which is the signature. But not before, out of nowhere. Did somebody count how many punches that was? Lio Rush comes up with a fury, no pun intended, of lightning offense, but then he makes a mistake. He slaps Oney Lorcan in the face. Was that not the most angry you ever saw Oney Lorcan become?
No, he was pissed.
That was funny and terrifying at the same time. I thought his eyes were going to pop out of his head. Oney Lorcan, furious, grabs him and chops the tails out of him. You could see the sweat beaming off Lio Rush's body. And as he was going for the freaking running blockbuster, Lio Rush countered to an insane Spanish fly, standing out of nowhere, and then finally pulls off the freaking Dragon's Call, they call it, the split leg frog splash, and he does pick up the win. Now, as you said, in the past, Lio Rush, he's been looked at as a heel, but he went over as a face in this. the crowd at one point, I think, was turning against Oney Lorcan. Or at least were disagreeing with the way he was kind of, going against Lio Rush, Lio Rush and Payne, all that type of stuff. And typical face versus heel dynamics be damned. We're going to have an incredible, unique match between Lio Rush and Drew Gulak, which to be determined at what time. And truthfully, I do hope this happens on NXT Live. I will personally, you know what? I'll say this right now. If this happens October 2nd, the day Something Else premieres, I am personally, during that match, going to mute AEW and watch that match. Folks, there's a war coming, whether you want to realize it or be part of it or not. This is the best time to become a wrestling fan. Get ready for Wednesdays in October, because we got a loaded night. I might have to simulcast this. But yeah, what an incredible match. I'm so glad to see him back. And as Marwin Nell played, he got through his mental demons, because Marwin Nell, mental health advocate, he fights his own demons. I was born developmentally delayed. I fight stuff all the time. Oh, and I'm sure you can relate to that. And Chris, anxiety, depression, stress, it gets all of us. And shout out to Cindy G, who recently went through all of that and is probably one of the strongest individuals I know personally. I'm glad she's doing better. Man, whatever been going for the Lio Rush, whatever he pulled together, I guess he does like hip-hop music now or something like that. He must have found like an outlet for our other talents that he has. This was a tremendous, perfect way to bring him back. And I can't wait for this Cruiserweight match. And wow. All right. So yeah, I just wanted to bring that up because again, I feel like we're going to see more inclusion of the Cruiserweight division and more showcase and highlight of the Cruiserweight title on NXT brand as 205 Live continues the way it does now. But I feel like we're going to see more and more merging of that with Full Sail. And like I said, TJS has even said on point. Shout out to TJS, supporter as well. He wants better for the Cruiserweights. If this is the best you're going to do, immerse the Cruiserweight division in NXT over time, I'm going to be fine with that because one way or another, I'm always going to believe 205 Live matters, and this match was proof. Even Aaron Rick acknowledged how incredible Lio Rush is, all right? Do not count out the Cruiserweights, and Lio Rush is a tremendous addition to the Cruiserweight division.